They say that one of the great 8 wonders of the world is kind of like this thing called compound interest. And it's that basic idea that little things done over and over and over again over a long period of time always got to produce a result. So what would actually happen if you have compound consistency? Knowing that every single day you make the decision to just eat better. You're actually in a position you start to say, I'm going to do 5K a day. You know what? I'm actually just going to be in a position I'm going to make some great phone calls at the start of every business day with the goal to go and book an appointment, maybe 2, possibly even 3. Now, if you do it every day, regardless of how you feel, and actually you got to get into some great transactions, doesn't that change the entire thing that actually happens on the inside of your business? And really what we've got to look at is the high level of consistency around what it is that you do. Now, every day we've written the daily email. Every week we do the weekly coaching tip. Every week we do the podcast with Alexander Phillips. Every week we do the podcast with Dean Mackey. And ultimately where I learned that from was the skill of actually producing a newspaper. I used to work in newspapers back in the day. And what we've learned is that now more than ever before is that if a real estate agent adopted exactly the same philosophy to make sure that they deliver and that they market and they are consistent around their actions, they always get results. And this is that most important conversation that if you list consistently, you sell consistently. And so the number one job is that how do I actually make sure that I go to get 1, possibly 2, maybe 3 appointments every business day? And what will that do if I go to do that every day of the week, over the course of the month, over the course of the year? Now, why is that such an important part? We've been working in businesses and so far we've seen a variance somewhere between 2.91 and 4.31. So between 2.91 or 4.31 appraisals that you do will actually lead directly into a listing. So if you knew that on average that for every 4 appraisals you do, you get a listing, wouldn't you just go out there and do more appraisals? And that's actually the most important part of what great agents do, because you've got to understand about how you actually got to generate those leads so you can amplify the lead sources that really work, so then you can go and do more of the work that really counts. But what we do know is that ultimately having a good attitude is a skill. Bringing that great attitude to every call session is also a skill. Doing a call session every day, that's a skill. And actually getting appointments booked, that's also a skill. So focus on the things that really matter. Because what we find is that what agents do is that when the market's not good or when they're not getting listings, they always blame the marketing's not working or the technology's not working or the database isn't working. And when all of a sudden they're doing really well, it's because of their natural levels of brilliance. Your skill is to actually bring all of that back, distance the ego, and just do great work. Compounding, literally day by day, to actually make sure that you do those consistent actions to go to produce the results that really produce the type of outcomes that you actually want.